I am going to do something with the Zany Zoo bundle. So the Zany Zoo bundle is this super cute stamp set. It looks like it's more like for kids, but I feel like you could use it for anyone. Like I could see me sending one of my girlfriends this or this. My brother would laugh his head off to get a card made with this crocodile. So I feel like it doesn't have to be just for kids. It can be for adults too. And then, of course, the die set, you get a lot of little extras. Of course, you get dies to cut all the animals out, but then you get like a curtain for like a stage show. There's a little banner piece, a couple of trees. There's a little tiny flower pot and a little flower. There is a balloon. There's a cloud. Actually, there's two balloons, a cloud, two different size flowers, a little stool that somebody can stand on or sit on. There's just a lot of things in here. So I wanted to use this. I'm also going to pull out this kind of strip die from the beautiful balloons bundle or die set anyway. And we're going to make grass using this die. So that should be kind of fun. Okay. So let me get my papers out here. All right, so I started out with a piece of Pool Party, and this measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and then I scored it at 1 inch, and I'm going to fold that up. So now I've got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch standard size card. All right, then I have a piece of Lemon Lime Twist, which is 4 by 5 1/4. There we go. We're going to slide that in there. I have another layer of white, or not another layer, a layer of white that is 3 3/4 by 5. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper that's 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And a scrap of white. And then here is my piece of Lemon Lime Twist that I did run through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with that cool little die from the balloons. So we're going to make grass out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it into my trimmer. And I'm going to put it in here at about 3/4 of an inch. Now, this is a handy little trimmer, and I realize that Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this, but Amazon has one that is, to me, it looks exactly like this. It's just a different color. And I do have a link to that in the description of this video. So if you guys are in the market for one of these little photo trimmers, they're amazing. You won't be sorry if you have one. You can get it via the link in the description. So anyways, this was an inch piece of cardstock. I put the die in the middle, ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and now I'm lining the edge up at the 3/4 inch mark, and I'm going to chop that off. Okay, so now what I have left is this fun fringe. Well, I only need it to be 4 inches wide because we're going to stick it on this little front panel here. So I'm going to stick it in and chop it off at 4 inches. And so this is what we're left with. Now, I did want it to look a little more fun than just like this. This is kind of boring. So I decided to snip some of these pieces of grass, quote unquote grass, off. And I'm doing them in opposite directions. Like I'm skipping 2, I'm going to the 3rd one, and I'm angling it, you know, the different directions. So I'm going to skip 2, go to this 3rd one here, and do that. Skip 2, go to the 3rd one, and I'm going to do that all the way along the whole thing until I have the whole thing done. So you can see that I've just angled the pieces different directions, and so they look a little more realistic, I guess, like kind of. And then you can also take your bone folder if you want, and you can kind of curl some of the pieces of grass. And I like to sometimes go back and forth so that I have the grass going both directions. It just kind of gives it a little more, I guess, realistic look again. Not like this really looks like grass, but it will look a little bit like some grass. Okay, so first of all, what I need to do is I need to get all my pieces inside, and I'm going to fold this back behind my layer. So we're going to fold that back. I need a bone folder. There we go. And so this white layer is going to be basically the same size as this piece here. So I'm going to attach this to the back of my white layer. So let me get a little glue here on this little strip. There we go. jog my pieces together and get that down. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this white layer to my layer of lemon lime twist. So let's get some glue back here. And then we're going to attach this to this. And we should have just the perfect amount of spacing here, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay. And then we're going to add this to the inside of the card. So we'll get some more glue here. And then we're going to layer this right here. Again, and since we're going to have this piece folded up, we don't have to have down here perfect, as long as the rest of them are. Okay, so then I'm going to open this and I'm going to fold this up and I'm going to staple this right here. So I've got a stapler. I'm going to try to get it in the middle and I'm going to try to do it upside down and I'll show you why. So let's just make sure we can get this in the middle. Got a bad angle. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Plus make sure that it's in the middle. So I'm going to scoot it over just a little. I'm looking in my camera view to make sure that this is in the middle. And I think that it is. And I'll show you where I put the staple as soon as I get this done. So there's where I put the staple. And now I have it on the front. And that way we're going to cover it up with the grass. But I also like to take a little hammer and flatten my staple down so that it's not bumping. It's just not bumpy, if that makes any sense at all. We don't want a bumpy staple because then it's just going to be in the way and look bad. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the edge of my grass piece. And now we're going to bring it here and we're going to cover up our staple. And I tried to be a little sparing with the glue, so hopefully it wouldn't come and squirt through, you know, there. So now what we have is we've created like a little fun fold kind of thing like this. And I feel like this might be a little bit too long, so I'm going to trim that off just a skosh. Let's just see how far we have to put it. Yep, I think that was all, just a tiny little bit. So that's what we have so far. Cute, cute card. Okay, so now we're going to bring in some stamps. So I've got this cute little skunk. And now when I was kind of looking for ideas today for cards, I saw maybe 2 with the skunk. So apparently the skunk is not a card, not an image that people are really fond of. And I don't know why. It's so cute. And he goes so well with this paper. So anyway, we're going to ink him up, stamp him on a scrap of white. We're going to let that dry for a second. And then I'm going to do something on the inside here. So you might be able to tell that I have taken the little raccoon and I masked off the balloons. So I have some Scotch tape here. You can see I've got a bunch of little pieces here, but I just want the balloons. Okay, because I want to stamp them on the inside of the card, but without the raccoon itself. So I'm going to ink up the balloons now. And then, of course, the most important thing about when you're masking stuff is to remove the tape. And then I'm going to stamp these about here, I think. Well, I could have had a little more there, but you know what? I am fine with it. Now let me get rid of this tape. And then I have this little phrase that says, "Happy birthday to you." And I'm going to, so I've got some colors of blends here. So I've got the black. So we're going to color our little friend black. So I'm going to start with the dark black. And I just kind of wanted to create a little shading. And you guys know I am not a very good colorer. Coloring is not my strong suit. I am not very good at it. So just bear with me and we'll see what we can do here. So I put the super dark in the middle, kind of like where the belly would be, and I'm going to try to kind of blend that out a little. And then we're going to do his little legs, and then we're going to kind of finish the rest of his body here. So I decided to bring in the light smoky slate and color that just because. We've got lemon lime twist, but I didn't think a bird's beak should be lemon lime twist. So we're going with just plain old yellow. Of course, then you would die cut this, which I have already done. So let me get that out. So here is my die cut piece. And you can see it did lighten up a little bit as it dried. And I feel like this one will as well. So this was our die cut piece. I also die cut some other things. This is not a die cut. This is a 2-inch circle. And then I die cut a cloud and a couple of trees. I die cut these tiny flowers, but I don't think I'm going to end up using them. So, but I am going to, while I have my markers out, I am going to color these balloons. So we've colored the balloons on the inside. We've got our grass on the outside. So this is my thought. I have this little circle. I'm going to glue it underneath my grass here. And then I'm going to put my little skunk friend right here. And of course, he's going to have some trees around him because he's an explorer. He's out exploring the wilderness. And then we're also going to have a cloud. So let me kind of set up this whole thing. We'll glue all these pieces down. And then we should be just about done. Actually, you know what? No, I am going to glue him down because he's got to go under the grass. I was going to use dimensionals, but I feel like I can't because if I do, then it won't fit underneath the grass very well, and we need it to fit under the grass. Okay, so this little tree here, I'm going to add a little glue to the side, and I'm going to put okay. And I am going to trim this excess off because I want my circles to still be a circle. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to tuck that in. So I'm just going to put, let's see. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right down here at the bottom of this circle. I probably could put a tiny bit more, but I want to make sure that it'll go underneath my grass. Whoops, we got to pick up our grass a little bit here. Okay, we're going to stick that down. We're going to fluff up the grass a little bit, and look what we have. Oh my gosh, is that not the cutest thing ever? I guess that's not terrible. They're kind of subtle. And again, oh my gosh, you guys, this just makes me so happy. So